Hi everyone, Bob Izumi here. You know, for over 30 years I've had a chance to fish all over the world, including all 4 seasons. My bucket list has got a lot shorter since I started, but I have to admit, Big Lake Abitibi has been on it for a long time. Ever since I fished a walleye tournament way back in the 80s on Little Abitibi, I've often thought about fishing the neighboring Big Lake Abitibi. Mark and Bill Froud from DUNN Outfitters have completed their new lodge on the Low Brush River on the edge of Lake Abitibi and have invited us up to experience the extended ice season. Living here in southern Ontario, ice fishing is usually over by, say, the end of March. There's an opportunity to fish into April in northeastern Ontario at Abitibi. If you hit it at the right time, you might be on ice fishing, say in a hoodie or t-shirt. We put together a good group of guys, about 14 of us in total, including my good friend, Chef Matt Maurice. He likes to fish and I like to eat, so I thought he'd make a great guest. On today's show, we make the journey north to have some fun and experience what they have to offer. Wow. That is a fish of a lifetime. Here we go, boy. Wow-wee. That thing is a monster. They fight hard, don't they?
Look at that magnificent fish.
Look at the size of that fish.
There it is again.
The color is incredible. Oh, there we go.
The Real Fishing Show with Bob Izumi.
Big old Great Lakes smallmouth. That is a big rainbow trout, Chris. Nice double header. Whoa.
Nice jump.
Yeah, all right. That is a monster smallmouth. Man, that is so cool. Another one, there we go. The biggest pike I've ever caught in my life. Look at that chunk. Well, that's what we're talking about.
Real Fishing is sponsored by Mercury, #1 on the water, and Mystic Lubricants.
On the Real Fishing Show, we make catching fish like this a possibility. The town of Cochrane is due north of the city of Toronto. It was just under an 8-hour drive for us with the snow bears in tow. Our first stop was at the polar bear habitat where we were greeted by the mayor of Cochrane, Peter Politis. This is the only human care facility in the world dedicated solely to polar bears. It's a one-of-a-kind research and education center. Polar bears can stand more than 9 feet tall and weigh in excess of 1,200 pounds. It was a real treat to see this unique operation and meet the dedicated, enthusiastic staff. Then our journey continued on to Lake Abitibi Halfway Water Lodge. Access to the lodge is somewhere between 20 to 30 miles on an old railroad trail. We took the snow bears and snowmobiles on the old line. It was definitely an adventure. Since it was our first outing to Lake Abitibi, we packed a lot of ice fishing gear. I like to be prepared, especially on an ice fishing adventure where we're fully committed. Our gang moved around in a pack, mainly still fishing with minnows. We certainly covered a lot of ice looking for walleyes on their trip out there.
Oh, that's not too bad.
He'll eat, eh?
Awesome. Little soggy.
Beauty. Well, we're out here on the ice. I'm with Mark Froud, and you and your dad, Bill, you've got DUNN Outfitters, and also, what's the name of the lodge?
Halfway Water Lake Lodge.
Okay, so Big Abitibi is how large?
It's approximately 80 kilometers long. It's got over 900 islands. It's got more shoreline than some of the Great Lakes. It's absolutely untouched. There's very seldom you see people out here fishing.
Well, I know one thing, that this is a monstrous lake. It's been on my bucket list of fish since I've been in the business for more than 30 years now doing the show. And I know that it's renowned for giant pike, giant walleyes.
We also get sheephead, whitefish, mooneye, ling, some perch. So we get a big variety of a lot of different species of fish.
Hey, when it comes to successful ice fishing, you want to be prepared when you're out on the ice. Having the proper tools are really handy, especially if it's cold out there. You want some pliers that you can use with or without your gloves. You've got hook sharpeners, scissors, even jaw spreaders are handy when you're out there. Now let's go over here and I'll show you something else you might want to consider. You know, another thing to consider is you've got your ice rods, you've got an investment here. You want to protect them when you're out in the ice. Here at Sail, there are a number of cases now that are available that are pretty cool for keeping all of your tackle and your ice rods in. And these cases here, whether you go hard or soft case, you can put all of your rods, reels, tackle in, keep nice and safe while you're out there looking for fish.
Coming up.
It's always nice, you know, when you pick up somebody else's rod and as fastest guy wins.
Let's take a look down under with this week's Fish Eye View, sponsored by Mercury, #1 on the water. No need to tell anyone, drilling holes for ice fishing takes considerable effort. Even with a power auger, you still have to haul that heavy monster out there. To minimize unexpended energy, doing a bit of preliminary homework really pays off. Start by making good use of a GPS and head directly to shoals, drop-offs, and other holding areas. Once there, assume the fish are also there. Resist the temptation of drilling a single hole to see what's down below. Even a hand auger will put fish off or move them out of range entirely. Instead, take the time to cut a series of holes to cover the entire area. For offshore spots, try a circular pattern. For drop-offs and points, do it straight line from deep to shallow. All the while, assume most fish are being pushed around. Now you have a playing field to work with. If the fish move, you can follow along. Remember also, perch, trout, and others have a bad habit of getting used to you. It's a common problem in ice fishing. Dropping bait into a hole a few steps away will reactivate those very same fish. When there are a dozen holes in the area, you have options. Without turning the place into Swiss cheese, drilling holes in advance is the best way to ice winter fish.
You know, I spend a lot of time in the outdoors and throughout the 4 seasons, but let's talk winter conditions, ice fishing. You know, years ago we used to wear the heaviest coat we could find and we'd try to be comfortable throughout the day during changing conditions. Nowadays though, it's all about layering up. You can always layer down if it gets warmer out there on the ice, but the cool thing is, if you've got a lot of layers on, you can take them off if it gets warmer or say the wind dies down. You know, there's some products out there now like Omni Heat, and this is incredible for keeping the warmth in. So you can get it in jackets and hoodies, and now how about keeping the water out? There's Out Dry. This is 100% breathable and 100% waterproof. You can wear this as an outer layer on top of other layers that act as insulation, and so you're both dry and comfortable when you're out there. It's all about being comfortable, folks, when you're out there in the elements. Over the years, I've had an opportunity to do a fair amount of hard water angling. Today's ice anglers have become more high-tech and mobile since I was a kid. Electronics with Navionics mapping allow you to go to obscure humps, drop-offs, flats, or areas that were almost impossible to find in the early years. Just like in a boat, you can navigate to high-percentage areas in search of fish. Even though we fished very shallow on Abitibi, fishing electronics have changed the way we approach ice fishing, especially in deeper water situations. When jigging for walleyes, we have caught a ton of them by watching our graph or flasher for a fish to appear, then jigging or provoking that fish into striking. It's common to sight fish with your electronics.
There we
Mr.
go.
Izumi,
Can you just pull that transducer up on my lure?
I most certainly can, buddy.
Yeah, folks, we got a haul. Oh yeah, there we go. There we go.
Are you ready for this, folks? There you have it, folks. A beautiful walleye.
Right on, brother.
Bob Izumi, right on. Check it out, folks.
The same goes for lake trout and whitefish. If you keep your lure above them, many times you can make them chase it as you work it upwards. Getting them to commit and smashing your bait can be a real blast.
Anyway, we're hooked up.
Find it. You don't.
Yeah.
You don't let this many of these fish.
No, not with the teeth on them. There we go. All right.
Okay.
Pop that bait out of there. You gotta love that. Our custom chartreuse tail grass pig, and
There we go. Look at that, another beauty. No stretch braid or fused super lines are also a real plus for catching more fish. They are incredibly thin diameter compared to traditional monofilament. The advantage is the increased sensitivity and better hook sets because there is no stretch. In clear water situations, we will add a fluorocarbon leader onto the super line. A little walleye here, caught up in the transducer here. Just a baby guy. On the board. Mark has got himself, what's he got, a little walleye there or sauger? Is that sauger or walleye?
Sauger.
All right, a little sauger. There we go. All right. It's always, hey, got to show this, a moon eye. It's always nice, when you pick up somebody else's rod and reel, and check it out. But hey, it's fastest guy wins. That's a good one. Ah, nice one, Paul.
There we go.
Paul just got a nice walleye there. I'm here with the gang, and this is just a few hours of fishing out here at Big Abitibi Lake, and it's been a lot of fun, lots of action, and what can I say? There's so much water to fish up here, you couldn't do it in 100 lifetimes. Hey, I spend a lot of time outdoors and I like being prepared. When you're on the road a lot, it's nice to have the essentials, but also things just in case an emergency happens. At Big Lake Abitibi, I had a bag packed, and of course I had some extra gloves in there, an extra cap or toque, a towel, a neck gaiter or warmer. Very essential if the wind's blowing, a balaclava. This one here has even got the Omni heat in it. Spare socks. I've had a few soakers in the slush ice fishing where spare socks sure have come in handy. A flashlight, something that you should always carry. Spare sunglasses, a lot of glare on the ice. Got a satellite phone here. This is just a little Global Star, nice in case you don't have cell service out there, which we didn't once we got out on the ice on Abitibi. I've also got a spot, and this is really cool because this is an emergency GPS beacon. So if you're out there and you get lost, you can hit the button, people will know where you are. This is a device that could save your life. Pretty cool. And there are a number of different first aid kits available, and some of them have actually waterproof matches in them. Good idea to carry a first aid kit and some waterproof matches when you're out there. And last but not least, my Ziploc with some toilet paper. You just never know when you might get a runny nose.
Coming up.
That's good. Nice fish.
Yes, sir.
Woo!
Very nice. Matt's sneaking up on one there. All right. Chef Matt Maurice has a nice eater walleye here. Nice job, Matt.
Thanks, buddy.
A little gold splinter spoon, tipped with a minnow. He's been cooking some wonderful meals up here for us at Big Abitibi Lake. So, we got to let him fish a little bit, I mean, you're on break, right?
Yeah, I'm on break, yeah.
Yeah, okay, well, just keep catching him, keep fishing, okay? Oh, Matt, you got one going, Matt?
Hooray! That's good. Nice fish.
Yes, sir.
Well, Chef Matt Maurice has been cooking up some wonderful meals for us. And Matt, you just caught an incredible walleye. What's going on?
Oh, I just noticed it tapping at the very tip. And,
What you had in the rod holder?
Yeah, in the rod holder.
Very nice. Well,
Yeah.
you know, that's the funny thing about this lake up here at Abitibi, Abitibi Lake is, you know, as opposed to jigging, the locals tell me you get a lot more fish dead sticking, you know, either with tip ups or with your jigging rods just in the rod holder.
Yeah.
And then when you start seeing that tip ding, 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 you just pick it up, set the hook.
Yeah.
And that's what you did.
And I did so.
All right. Well, not only can he cook, folks, the man can catch fish too.
So that was worth waking up for.
I missed my opportunity.
Funny, eh? You jig it and it's
Yeah.
like they don't come back.
Yeah.
I've known executive chef Matt Maurice for a number of years. This was the second remote trip we've done and certainly won't be our last. He's an amazing cook who is a great friend to have, if you know what I mean. We did some fine dining on the ice and at the lodge. The boys even brought out a wood-burning stove out on the ice so Matt could show off his culinary skills cooking fresh-caught walleye. There were 14 of us in total in the group. I will say that the camaraderie with the gang was as good as the food we consumed during our outing there. Memories that will definitely last a lifetime.
But that should be yummy.
Now, we use a lot of tip-ups for pike fishing, and we'll set up some big dead baits for pike. But in this case here, it seems like on Big Abitibi Lake, a lot of guys are still fishing. They're not really jigging much. So I've got a 2-hook rig on here, and this is a Berkeley tip-up. And I'm just gonna set it. And the cool thing about these type of systems are when you do get a bite, the flag goes up. And pretty cool system. So what I'll do is I'm gonna set this right down to the bottom. Get all the way down here. Okay, it's on bottom now. And that's it. It's all set up. And one of the keys is with this type of fishing, it's a waiting game. You know, you set it up, you wait till the flag goes off, and you come running over to it, and you feel if the fish is on, and then set the hook. So we'll just let that one sit, and it's right on bottom, or just barely off bottom, so it's ready to go. A few years ago, I spent a day with my longtime friend, outdoor writer, and radio co-host Gord Pizer, targeting big pike. Gord's a die-hard ice fisherman and has it dialed in when it comes to catching trophy northerns. He likes to set up his tip-ups in front of big shallow bays off of secondary points. Then it's a waiting game, hoping one bites. On this particular outing, it produced the biggest, fattest pike I've ever seen. You know, you never can tell, eh, Gord,
No,
with
you
this,
can't.
all this snow on the ice.
And the hard part now, Bob, is when they come under this way, you're going to have to try and get its head to turn.
It's sideways. You see it?
Oh, Bob, we want this.
This is a monster.
Oh, my Lord, Bob, hold on. Oh, hold on.
Look at the size of that fish. Wow, Gord.
Robert,
That thing is a monster.
what did I
wow.
tell you?
Gord, look at that thing. How big is that?
Over 30.
How big is it? Is it really?
That's a 30.
Gord, if it gets any better than this, tell me, okay?
So much fun, isn't it?
That's amazing. What a bite.
Coming up,
What do you got going on over there, Matt?
Oh, ling, buddy.
A ling, all right.
Yeah.
If you're going to do any ice fishing, you want to make sure that you've got a good auger. And you know, there are so many choices. You've got your traditional hand auger. Just drill those holes out. You've got gas-powered augers, and you've also got those new electric lithium type augers that are available. And you know, when it comes to ice fishing, we cut a lot of holes. Usually we'll set up in areas like we did at Abitibi where we drilled a lot of holes, basically shallow to deep, and we would stagger our holes. So we'd go shallow here, 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 and we'd stagger the holes and we'd spread out the guys that were in our group so that we could figure out where the fish are. So when we'd go, say, off the point of an island or a saddle or maybe a point off the mainland, we would stagger the anglers just to cover more ice to put the odds in our favor. The accommodations were very clean and comfortable at Lake Abitibi Halfway Water Lodge. It was the perfect place to kick back after a day on the ice.
We started ice fishing out in Big Abitibi probably about 15 years ago, and we had just 2 ice huts. We could only accommodate 6 people. So since then, we built the lodge here, and we've accommodated a lot of people through the winter. And now we're at the end of the season. We get an extra month of ice fishing. You can fish with your t-shirt, and you need your tanning oil, and it's a good time.
Mobility is another evolution that many ice anglers take advantage of nowadays. ATVs, snowmobiles, and the Snow Bear allow you to go to remote areas in search of fish. It's not uncommon to cover miles of ice in an outing. Portable ice shelters are also very popular in this day and age, once again to offer comfort from the elements and the option of moving around.
Matt, one of the cool things about this is it's like a big party out on the ice, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yeah. Everybody
got-
hops in and been helping out too. It's nice to be in a group.
It's like working as a team out here
Yeah.
because, you know, we've got a couple of sleds in the group. Guys will go out and punch holes
Yeah.
and start the getting ready for the area, and then the rest of the group catch up and we start and we'll fish this area and then we'll fish over in that area. Now this particular rod holder here is a homemade one, and it's got a spring and a pendulum type deal to it, and it's just weighted to hold the rod and reel right at that sort of center point. And if it gets a hit, boom, boom, it's gonna go down or maybe even stay bent down. We're talking all kinds of rod holders here.
Ice fishing is a Canadian tradition, and northeastern Ontario offers hardwater anglers an extended ice season compared to where I live in southern Ontario. Most of the ice fishing ends around the end of March, whereas it's common to fish an extra month into April on places like Lake Abitibi.
Nice. Yeah, it's a sauger or walleye?
Sauger.
Little sauger. You know, saugers here are really light colored. Oh, and I noticed that they seem to be pretty plentiful. But it seems either a sauger or walleye, right?
That's right, and a little smaller than the walleye, but still very good eating as well.
Oh, absolutely. Same family, right?
Same family.
Awesome. What do you got going on over there, Matt?
Oh, a ling, buddy.
A ling, all right.
Yeah.
Now, you caught your first ling the other day, didn't
Yeah,
you?
they're cool looking, aren't they?
Yeah, they are, and very tasty. I've personally never eaten a ling. I've never ding-a-ling, but
You're right, nor I. I can't wait to try it.
are you gonna eat it?
I think so.
Well, you're a chef. You're allowed. You know, you can keep anything you want as long as it's legal. And
That's right.
ling is legal. That's a legal ling.
Let's
Now,
do
aren't
it.
they something else?
Yeah, they're cool looking.
Prehistoric-like fish.
Yeah, very much.
They say they taste like poor man's lobster.
Well,
And
that I know what
This
to do with
guy
that.
can make steak out of hamburger. He's that good. But that one just hit a dead minnow on this Berkeley tip-up. So very cool. Well, let me get the pliers for you.
Cool, thanks.
Real Fishing was sponsored by Mercury, #1 on the water, and Mystic Lubricants.
Let's size that baby. That thing's got some weight to it. Size that puppy right there. That is just wild. Beautiful, beautiful. Look at the size of that thing. Wow.